This is a week later, and very different day, lovely sunny day today, afternoon, and over there, we've just checked out, the pyramid is still there.
Yes.
You did it individually?
Yes.
And how would you experience it now?
And even it felt incredibly powerful. It seems to be getting stronger, if anything. And it was easy to find the centre and be underneath the diamond crystal. That was very interesting, but it really feels as though it drew you to it.
Yes, yes. It gave me another insight into the power of thought, and how when we are going to create something on a site, like an architect being instructed to create something on a site, how the combined thought of everyone who's involved actually anchors it onto that site before the builder comes along and closes it in bricks. And so the big question is what happens to it when the bricks are demolished. The building is taken away. The big question is what happens to everyone's thought form who's been involved.
I think the thought form remains unless it's consciously wiped away, because often people there was one example down in Coombe in Kingston, where they built they demolished
the Jami Shinatra, wasn't it?
Yes.
Gurdjieff.
And there'd been years of meditation had gone on in that room, and it definitely was felt by the people who moved into the house right above it.
They built houses all over it.
Yes, yes.
Yes, all over. A place that had been used for 9 years, was it? Over 9 years.
Yes, longer
as
than
an
that.
anchor point from very, very strong meditations. Subud, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I look at that pyramid over there as being an exercise for our extrasensory aspects of ourselves. We didn't intend to enclose it in bricks and concrete, did we?
No, not at all.
No. And there was a big question mark, should we wave it away? I must admit, I went on to Orange Hill hoping we might create something really spectacular, because I have known things like people coming together, 16 or 20 people even coming together and creating something absolutely huge, and it swirls and it's got colours, all the intentions, you can't actually see it, but it actually has movement and it has colours and it reaches right out and it's anchored right down, and but that was a good example of sort of preconceived ideas.
Yes, and
preconceived ideas are very, they interfere with results, don't they?
Yes, and I think this was here, just thinking about it now, this is such a simple, natural place. I mean, it has been planted by the estate, but it still retains very much a feeling of naturalness and nature just doing its own thing. And although it will be logged eventually, because that's what the trees are grown for, in the meantime, the broom and the bracken and the gorse and everything and the heather, really it's their home, and even after the logging's done, a lot of it will continue anyway.
I thought Svenum's design, or receiving, let's call it that, his receiving, was absolutely right for that occasion. It was very simple. It fitted the day. It fitted the day, and it was misty, and it was very ethereal. And I think the way we were directed to bring it into being by him was so gentle, and it embodied something of him as well in it, I think, because he's a very gentle man, isn't he? Yes, and also very attuned to nature. Yes.
And particularly to wood, which he works
yes.
I think it was marvellous we had Duncan there with his scepticism, and also and John, not with scepticism, but John with the divining, doing it, finding his own way of seeing what's there, and and Duncan was very, very much tuned in.
He was doing
with
that.
Yes, with his hands,
Yes.
and with his pendulum.
Yes.
And it was, to me, I think the whole afternoon was an experience of opening up to other people's ideas and not feeling one had to control it as the instigators of it, to be this
Yes.
or that or the other.
Yes.
And it must be our ideas that are put forward. And I think that's the beauty of this kind of exercise and using, is to actually, for everyone to find their own way of tuning in to their own inner,
Yeah.
because that's, and the it.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Whatever
To
that is
to
in
that
that
realm,
way, yes, to
it's
that
like-
realm.
I think we need a lot of
beyond us.
practice in I don't want to say consciously connecting with these other realms, because often conscious connection interferes with the connection. It's I think often our learned experiences and attitudes can horribly interrupt and distort any desire I've got to reach into those deeper realms. It's almost like they're the realms of mind and spirit, and my brain can really inhibit my connection. I'm not going to say exploration because it isn't. I think it's a rediscovery of it,
Yes,
the rediscovery of that connection.
yes.
Yes.
But you were talking there about humanity. How do
Well,
you
yes.
feel that in relationship to what we were doing that afternoon, or is there something different?
I don't think it has a direct connection with it, but I think we were giving our brains something to do while we transcended that, because I think most people in their sharing afterwards described how they felt, and they felt very deep feeling and that sort of thing. But trying to organise people to hold your hands up, is it 60 degrees, and all this sort of thing is very much the activity of the brain. And once we'd done that, we felt confident enough to let go and experience beyond what we had produced. It was a meditation,
Yes.
an active mind meditation, even though
Yes.
the receiving of the design may have come from a different level.
Right.
But bringing it into being was very much that occupying the mind in order to go beyond it.
Yes.
But I think the only way, if we're going to leave our brain behind when we go into these spiritual, mystical realms, how do we have an experience that we can actually bring back to our daily life? And I don't think it's a fast thing. I think the only way is to look behind you and to see the evidence of the connectedness in retrospect. So I think if we can definitely practice this uniting with the it, then life in retrospect should show evidence of that connection. I think if we try to take our brain along with it, and this is what I said earlier on about the using meters, lenses, gauges to experience things in those realms, those mystical, spiritual realms, then we're going to take our brain along in order to read the result, and it doesn't work like that on those levels. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
And this is why I think this sort of practicing this sort of stuff is feels for me very right, and it feels as though it's nourishing my life in retrospect.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you
You notice you said it is nourishing my life.
Yes.
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 And
Isn't it interesting? It creeps in
so
everywhere,
often,
doesn't it? The
so
it.
often we use the it
Yes.
semi-unconsciously, but
Yes.
actually you were saying exactly the right
Yes.
thing.
Yes. Isn't it interesting?
Yes.
Isn't it interesting?
It's been a very interesting exploration.
It has. Yes. Okay. Right. That's about it, isn't it?
Well, I forgot to put them out.